I'm Bobby Gruenewald. I'm pastor and innovation leader at lifechurch.tv, and just privileged to be able to talk to you guys today with the aha moment, or at least one of the aha moments of my life. And for me, I kind of see aha moments as these divine moments where God uses a circumstance or uses something that happens to speak through those circumstances to me. And so this one is sort of a leadership aha moment. But a few years ago, our church is a multi-site church, and we have, at that time, I think we had 8 campuses as a church. And so we had people that were in visiting, interviewing actually for one of our campus pastor positions. And so I was driving on a Sunday morning between one of our campuses and another one that's about 40 minutes away. And I had this candidate for a campus pastor and his wife that were driving with me, or riding with me in the car. And as we're driving, they're asking sort of what my role was, what I did, and I was kind of explaining some of the things I did. And they're also asking just about how the church functioned technically, sort of, or just how it worked. How on a Sunday does the message work, and the programming and those sorts of things. I was explaining all this to them. And the gentleman's wife said to me while we're driving, she said, "So you mean to tell me that right now at 8 different locations, right at this very moment, well, there are 8 different worship leaders, 8 different welcome teams and greeters, and 8 different technical teams that are all starting 8 different worship experiences, and they're using 8 different worship sets, and they're all going to somehow precisely end their worship set at that time it was like 18 minutes in to the experience, and then there's going to be 8 different campus pastors that all get up and communicate to the people, and they have certain things that they're communicating about their campus and about the church, and at precisely the exact same second they're all going to end, and the message is going to come via satellite, and all this stuff's happening. There's people coming into the buildings, there's kids, volunteers that are working." And she said, and all this is happening right now while we're talking, and we're just in a car driving between the campuses. How is that possible? She said at their church that they had served in, she said that she was responsible for a lot of the details of the program, and she couldn't fathom how being responsible how that she could possibly do that at 2 places, let alone 8 places, and be in kind of all those things could happen and work together. And it was at that moment that I realized that just how much had changed, and looked back and realized that how our capacity for leadership had greatly expanded over the just 3 or 4 years. And so when I had trouble kind of explaining how we sort of all kind of happened incrementally. We were at this place, and then we grew, and God stretched us, and we found leaders, and we kind of then went from here. It all happened incrementally. It didn't happen overnight. But if I went back to where we started at one campus and then tried to imagine how it would be possible to lead such a thing, or lead those systems or processes when it was 8 campuses or 13 campuses, I would have been sitting there with the same kind of look on my face that she had as she was trying to understand it. And so what the aha moment for me was the fact that we have this, as leaders, a tremendous ability to expand our capacity for leadership. It's something that God desires and does inside of all of us if we just allow ourselves to be stretched in that capacity. But you can rarely ever do you see that capacity growing unless you look backwards and actually say, this is where I was, and I see how God stretched and grown me. The reason it's important as leaders is that oftentimes as we plan our future, as we look at what as we think about the future and think about where God's leading us or what could be, and kind of the big ideas that might propel us forward, we usually think about those through the lens of our capacity to lead today. And the challenge with that is we oftentimes limit what risk we're willing to take or what responsibilities we're willing to take on based on how we see our capacity today, and don't recognize the fact that our capacity has this tremendous ability to stretch. And what seems impossible today can be possible tomorrow. So the aha moment, God used her question at that time to kind of give me this perspective that I need to be continuing to look for ways that my future can expand, and that can allow God to stretch my capacity as a leader in that process.